See, there's no limit to the amount of money you can make selling on eBay. If your goal is to make 10,000, it's doable. If your goal is to make $1,000,000, it's also doable. But the thing is, how much time are you ready to commit to the process? See, eBay is not what you might be thinking it is, like some get rich quick scheme. It's a lot of work. It's a typical 9 to 5 or even 9 to 9 job, if there's anything like that. Let me explain. You have to wake up in the morning, you have to list items, the items have to sell, you have to ship out the items, and you have to go back to source for new items. You have to bring them back to your warehouse or your wherever it is where you're operating from. You have to list them, you have to wait for them to sell, and the item has to sell. You have to ship them, you have to go back, look for stuff, bring them back in, and you have to repeat the process over and over and over and again. But the thing is, if that was just the only thing you need to do, then it won't be a difficult thing. Everybody would have been doing it. The thing is, there are still so many other complications you have to deal with. You have to deal with customer requests, you have to deal with scammers, you have to deal with you not finding items. Sometimes when you go out to look for stuffs, you don't find items to buy, and this could be a little bit of a challenge. You have to deal with so many other headaches, like missing your item, missing in transit during transportation. You have to deal with sellers just being wicked or difficult to you, like buying your stuff, they want to return it for no reason, and even returning it back to you with in a very bad condition. You see, this is not even all. You have to deal with so many other little things that will just crop up. Perhaps you buy an item, the item is working when you bought it, you bring it home, you plug it and realize that the item is broken. You have to deal with losses. This is the game. It's a lot in between. But the question on a surface level, can you really make a lot of money from eBay? Yes. There's no doubt about that. You can make a lot of money. You can make a lot of profit. You can live the dream life that you want to live being an eBay seller. But the thing is, there's a lot of work. And are you ready to pay the price? It takes a lot of time. Are you ready to give up that time? In my experience selling on eBay for so many years, I can pretty much imagine that eBay is a much more difficult full-time job than you just having a regular job. A regular job will mean that you just go to work at 8 o'clock, perhaps at 7, depending on when you start, and you just put in 8 hours, and at the end of the month, you get your paycheck and you get your full insurance cover for that job, depending on the kind of contract that you have. But then, what it means is that you go to work, you do what you are asked to do in 8 hours, in 7 hours, in 6 hours, and that's it. You go home. You don't have to think about the company. You don't have to think if the company is going to make profit or not. At the end of the 30 days, or depending on whenever you are paid, you just get a credit into your account and you get your full money for that month. And then you go back again, do the same thing. You don't have any headache. At the end of the year, you have time to travel with your family, go wherever you want to go. But then if you want to be a full-time seller that want to make 40, 50,000 euro in profit on eBay, you're going to work hard. You're going to do a lot of work. But is it possible? Yes. Does it take some special kind of skill set? Yes. Just like having a very good job also takes a lot of studies, a lot of time to be better at that kind of job. You have to learn the skills. You have to learn sometimes you need to go to a traditional school, a traditional university to pick those skills. The same way, if you want to sell on eBay, you also have to learn the skills. Sometimes, yes, thankfully, there's YouTube, which is where you can actually get a lot of skills from. But some of those skills you also have to pick up yourself, which means you have to be doing the things. You have to be seen selling, physically selling on eBay, making the mistakes, and then correcting yourself, and then learning over a long time. And at the end of the day, even when you have picked up all these skills, there's still some factors that might just be beyond your control, which is you're getting access to very good items to resell on the platform. That is a very, very major challenge, and unfortunately, not so many people talk about this. Some of the other skills can easily be picked up, but getting a very good supplier that will guarantee that you make that 50,000 euros is where the challenge is. But the thing is it doable? Is it possible to get a supplier that will guarantee you constant supply of stuff? Yes, it's possible, but you have to be in the game to be able to get access to this kind of suppliers, because the trend is also now that the suppliers themselves, they actually want to cut off the middleman one way or the other because they just feel like the supply chain is just getting a little bit too long. The supplier is here. He or she first needs to give it to a middleman, which is a reseller. And sometimes the reseller has to sell it to another reseller. And then before it gets to eBay, the process just gets so long. And sometimes the supplier is just saying, you know what, I'm going to bring this item directly to eBay and crash the price and just get my money right away and go back to the market or go back to the producer where he or she gets the item. You see, this is also a trend, and unfortunately, it's what it is. But if you want to be a reseller, definitely you have to pick up the basic skills. But then still comes this factor, which is how do you get materials? How do you get products to sell? Not just getting product today and then tomorrow you don't have any items to sell. But then, if my experience is anything to go by, being creative is one way you can circumvent this problem. This problem is there. Every seller that you see online, they have this problem. You see, problem of where to buy stuff. Although there are some people sellers that kind of make it appear like they really don't have any problem getting stuff. It's possible because over time they have built very solid relationships with suppliers. But then, if you are just starting out as a reseller, one thing you want to do, you want to get creative. If your goal is to make $1,000 a month, okay, then also determines how creative you are. But if you want to do the big boys numbers, 20,000 euros in profit, 10,000 euros in profit, 50,000 euros, $10,000 in profit, $20,000 in profit, $50,000 in profit, then you have to be extra creative. Day and night, you have to be reaching out to suppliers. You have to be reaching out to other resellers also. Try to see how you can re-engineer some of the things that come to the platform. Of course, it will take a lot of time, a lot of effort. Will you ultimately get to the source of where the goods come from? Yes. It's going to take a lot of perseverance. It's going to take a lot of digging. It's going to take a lot of searching. At the end of the day, if you persevere, you ultimately get to the sources of where most of the items come from. I hope this video helps you. If you are still in doubt if it's possible to make a lot of money on eBay, especially in 2024, yes. Is it a lot of work? Yes. Is it doable? Yes. Are you willing to put in the work? This is the question that you should be asking yourself. I hope this video helps you. If it does, go ahead and click on the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Until I see you again, peace.